The length of AC is 876 and BC was 965. And these are all feet. So realize that this is the side situation. So when we don't know an angle, we know that we have to use law of cosines in order to do this. So when we have all sides, we're going to find the largest angle first. And when we find the largest angle first, we're going to look at the side lengths. So also we can go ahead and say what each one of these are. So the side across from capital B is little b, across from capital A is little a, and then this one's little c. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find angle C first, because whenever you have a side situation, you need to go ahead and find the largest angle first. So we're going to go ahead and set this up, and I'm going to be looking for angle C. So I'm going to be doing C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B times cosine of C. Now, realize that this beginning C and the capital C need to match. And then the other two letters are what's here, here, and then you repeat it here and here. Now, again, we're not sure, like for the quiz, I don't think we're going to do it on a lockdown browser. So, have these formulas ready to use, be able to understand how to work with them. So let's go ahead and let me fill in what I have. So 1,240 squared equals 965 squared plus 876 squared minus 2 times 965 times 876 times the cosine of C. Now, whenever we're doing this and trying to find an angle, I can't do this continuous in my calculator. So you have to be very careful. Now, what you could do is, if you want to subtract this and set it up like this, show that it's 965 squared and minus the 876 squared. And you're going to move both of those over to here. Does that make sense? All right, so really what we've got now is 1,240 squared minus 965 squared minus 876 squared equals, so now these are away from here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and simplify all of this. So I'm going to square them all and then subtract the last two here. And then I'm going to multiply these three numbers. So let me go ahead and do that on my calculator. So 1,240 squared. And just, yes.
Calculator have to be in degrees, right?
Yes, in degrees. Yeah, both of these lessons, the calculator has to be in degrees. Okay, so we're going to square that. So once I square this, I'm just going to write down what I'm getting. 1537600, 965. This is going to give me 931225. 876 squared is going to give me 767376. Now I need to do this part of the problem. You could have done this continuous in your calculator. And the problem, I think, with this is you just have to be very careful what you put in your calculator. So I get this. And now I'm going to multiply these three numbers right here. So -2 times 965 times 876. And I get negative 169.0680 cosine of C. I now need to divide. both sides by this. Because I need to get cosine C by itself. So let me come up here. I'm going to divide. And I get 0.095228547. I'm looking for an angle measure. So when I do this, I'm going to do cosine negative 1. 0.095228547. So second cosine, and then I'll do second answer. And then my angle measure here is approximately 84. Now, they put it in minutes when they listed their answer. So we're going to round our answers to the tenths place. So let's make this 84. What I got on my calculator is 84.53. So I'm going to say angle C is approximately equal to 84.5 degrees. So they actually had it in minutes and seconds. So now I can, for my next angle, now I could use law of sines. Law of sines is a lot easier. All you're going to be doing is solving it as a proportion. So let's go ahead and let's find our next angle. So I'm going to use this, what I just found. So my angle C, my side length C, little c was 1240 over sine of 84.5. And now it doesn't matter which angle I find next. So let's go ahead and find the smaller one. Smaller one is going to be angle B. So sine B. And then the side across from little b is 876. And now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So sine 84.5 times 876 equals 1240 sine B. Divide by 1240. And then now let me divide that. So sine, and I don't want inverse yet, so sine 84.5 times 876 divided by 1240 gives me 0.703199249 equals the sine of B. Again, I'm looking for angle B, so I'm going to be doing the inverse. So I'll do second. And then once I do that, second sine, second answer, close the parentheses, my angle B is now going to be 44.68. I'll round it to the tenths place, so 44.7 degrees. Now to find angle A, I could just use my triangle sum theorem. I could just take angle B plus angle C, add them, so this is B, and then C was 84.5. I can add these two and subtract from 180. So this gives me 129.2, and then 180 minus 129.2, and I get 50.8. So angle A is equal to 50.8 degrees. 9, I think that was the next one. Okay, 29. So for 29, this time I'm giving, let me go ahead and just draw the picture. So A, B, C, and it says angle A is 80.40. I need to switch this. So 80 degrees and 40 minutes. I'm going to make this a decimal degree. I'm going to divide this by 60. So 80 plus 40 divided by 60. And this is going to be 80.6 repeating. So I'll make it 80.7. And then the other piece of given was little b. And this is 143. Little c is 89.6. So notice this is the side angle side scenario. So this time I'm going to find the angle that I have the side for. So here, and add in, this is little a, and this is little c. So I'm going to be looking for little a first. So I'm going to be doing a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times cosine of a. So here, a squared. This time you can do it continuous in your calculator. So 143 squared plus 89.6 squared minus 2 times 143 times 89.6 times cosine of 80.7. Now, common mistakes that students make is they forget that they're doing law of cosines here and not law of, or they might think they're doing law of sines, and then they might write sine here. So just be careful. So the long formula involves cosine, not sine. So I could actually just key this all in my calculator. I could do 143 squared plus this times these three, and then times this if you want. Now, if you want to write it all down, 143 squared gives me 20449. 89.6 squared gives me 8028.16 minus, and then I'm just going to multiply these three. So I'm going to do -2 times 143 times 89.6, and I get 25625.6, and now I have to multiply that by cosine of 80.7. And this gives me 141,194,878. I'm going to add these two. And I get 2847716. And then now I can add or subtract. And I get 24335, let's see, 29. So this is a squared. 96512. Square root it. And so square root both sides, and you're going to end up with a is equal to 155.999. We'll round it and make it 156 centimeters. What you need to do is you need to practice these problems with your calculator. If you're not comfortable with your calculator, it's going to be a tough quiz. You do need to show the work next week, just like you did before. You're going to be submitting your work. So, so just make sure you're turning everything in. Everybody good? All right, let me keep going here. Okay, so far all we found is little a. Now notice we need to find angle B, and we also need to find angle C. So now I'm going to find the smaller of the two angles. So I'm going to look here to see which side is smaller. So little b has 143 and little c has 89. So I'm going to find angle C first. So I'm going to use my given. So I'm going to be doing 156 over the sine of 80.7. And I'm looking for little c. And it's 89.6. So now I can use law of sines. It's easier. It's just a proportion. So I'm going to do sine of 80. Actually, let me do the sine of C times 156. Sine of 80.7 times 89.6. Divide by 156. And then sine of C, go ahead and do this on my calculator. So sine 80.7 times 89.6 divided by 156, and I get 0.566809431. Again, I'm looking for an angle measure, so I need to do the inverse function. So angle C, let me show you what I'm doing here. What I did on my calculator, I did sine -1 with this decimal. So then angle C is approximately equal to 34.5. And now to find the last angle, I could just use my triangle sum theorem. So we were already given this angle, 80.7. I'm going to add it to the angle I just found. So 80.7 plus 34.5, and I get 115.2. I'm going to subtract that from 180. And I get 64.8 degrees, and that's going to be measure of angle B. Back here. Everybody good on that one?
You were on Zoom the whole time.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. I must have lost connection. Let me go back here. All right. Okay. Everybody good on that?
Yes.
Let's try 33. Let me draw a triangle again. A, B, actually let's do it like this, B, C. And then it's not necessarily a right triangle. Remember, normally we would do trig for right triangles, but these are not right triangles. So it gave me angle A. It gave me 112. Obviously, this is not drawn to scale because that's an obtuse angle. And then little b is over here across from capital B, 6.28. And then little c is across here, 12.2. So again, my side angle side scenario. Now, when you're doing these, make sure your answers make sense. Notice my side lengths now are small numbers, whereas in some of the previous ones, they were huge. So make sure the answers you're getting make sense, that it fits into the problem. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be finding little a, because that's the angle I have over here. So that's 112.8. So I'm going to be doing a squared is equal to b squared, which is going to be 6.28 squared plus 12.2 squared minus 2 times little b times little c times cosine of a, which actually I have the measure of a, and it's going to be 112.8. So again, this is a problem I could do continuous on my calculator. So let me go ahead and do that. It may be beneficial to put in parentheses just to make it easier. So 6.28 squared, and I guess I could write it down, 39.4384, 12.2 squared gives me 148.84. I'm now going to multiply these three things. So negative 2 times 6.28 times 12.2. This gives me 153,232. And then I'm going to go ahead and do cosine of 112.8. And this gives me negative 0.3875155,865. I need to multiply these two. And this gives me 59.379,78834. I need to add these two, and then I can combine those. So 39.4384 plus 148.84 plus the 59. And again, just do this continuous in your calculator. Once I add these two and this, I get 245.6581883, and this is a squared, so I got to square root it. And a is approximately equal to 15.73, so I'm going to make it 15.7. And these original things up here, these are all meters, so this is 15.7 meters. Now what I can do is find the smaller of the two angles. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my sides. Notice B is 6.28, C is 12.2. So I'm going to find angle B first. So I'm going to take my newly found angle, side length, and put it across from the sine of 112.8. And I'm going to be doing sine of B first, and then 6.28. And again, cross multiply and divide. So sine of B times 15.7 equals sine of 112.8 times 6.28. Divide by 15.7. Sine of B, let me do this in my calculator. And I end up getting 0.3687452606. Remember, we're looking for an angle, so we're going to be doing sine -1 of this. So I'll put it in here. So second sine, second answer, so I don't have to retype it. And angle B is approximately equal to 21.6 degrees. Now to find the other missing angle, so this one's 21.6. All I have to do is add this one plus this one, and subtract it from 180. So 21.6 plus the 112. Let me see what was given. 112.8. I'm going to add these two and subtract from 180. So this gives me 134.4. Subtract that from 180. And I get 45.6. So my last missing piece, which is angle C, is 45.6. Okay, so this is number 37 from 8-1. So A, B, C. Angle A again is given in degrees and minutes. So I'm going to divide this by 60. And this is going to give me 38.6 repeating. So I'm going to make it 38.7. My other piece of given information was little a, 9.72, and these are kilometers, and little b is 11.8 kilometers. So I need to find little c, I need to find angle b and angle c. Okay, so if you notice, this is my ASS, angle, side, side scenario. So this is my ambiguous case. So for this one, I need to make sure that to see if I have either 0 triangles, 1 triangle, or 2 triangles. So let's go ahead and solve this one. Okay, so I'm going to use my given. So I have my 9.72 over the sine of 38.7. And then my other side that I've got is little b. So 11.8 over the sine of b. I'm going to cross multiply and divide. Divide by 9.7. Sine of b, and again, remember when we go to do this, I'm going to be doing sine -1 to get angle b. So I'm going to do sine 38.7 times 11.8 divided by 9.7. Okay, so once I divide all this, I get 0.76060446685. Do that inverse, and I get 49.5 degrees. So 49.5. Now what I can do to find angle C, I'm going to add the two angles I have. And I was given 38.7. And then subtract that total from 180, 88.2, and I get 91.8. So angle C is going to be 91.8 degrees. Angle B was 49.5. Angle A was given to me, and that was 38.6 repeating. So I think I used 39.7, 38.7. Change that. Now, because this is in the ambiguous case, I did find 1 triangle so far, but now I need to check to see if there is a second triangle. So back here up at this step, what I need to do is see if it's even going to work. So what I would do is I'm going to take 180 and I'm going to subtract 49.5. And I get 130.5. I'm going to add that to my original given to see if there's anything left over for angle C. So once I add 38.7, I get 169.2, which tells me there is some degrees left over for angle C, which is going to be 10.8. So now the angles for my third triangle, or my second triangle, is my original given, angle A, 38.7 degrees. This is angle C. This is angle B. So angle B is 130.5. Angle C is going to be 10.8. Now, little a was given to me, and that's 9.72. Little b was 11.8. I now need to recalculate little c given that angle measure. So 10.8 over, I'm looking for little c, and then sine of 10.8. I'm going to go back to my original given, which was my sine of angle A, which is the 38.7 and the 9.72. So sine of 38.7 times little c, sine of 10.8 times 9.72, divide by sine of 38.7, and little c is approximately equal to, 2.9. So up here, little c for this second triangle is 2.9. And all of these lengths are all kilometers, km, km. So number 37 actually had two triangles. So over here, this was the angles for the first one. Again, A and B were originally given. Little c, let me go back and calculate little c. Little c, given angle C that I calculated, the 91.8, sine 91.8 is equal to 9.72, sine 38.7, cross multiply, sine of 91.8 times 9.72, divide by sine of 38.7, and little c for the first triangle is equal to, and little c is equal to 15.5. So now we have all 6 pieces. So for the first triangle, this is little c, and the 3 angles, little a and little b were given. And for the second triangle, this is the 6 pieces of information. So again, when you're given side-side angle or angle side-side, you need to double check to see if it's no triangles, 1 triangle, or 2 triangles. So that's number 37 from section 8.1.